Hello everyone. For today's video, I'm going to show you a couple of little tricks in Microsoft Word that will help you get started in creating some more professional elements within inside of your flyers. So I have my Word document already open, and the first thing we're going to do is we are going to take and change the background color of our screen. And I say the background color of our screen, actually the background color of our page. So to do this, we're going to go up here to Design. We are going to select Page Color, and in this case, I'm going to change the entire page to black. Then we're going to come in and we're going to use the Insert, and we're going to select WordArt. And in selecting WordArt, I think I am going to go with, this blue color right here. And I'm going to type in, I'm going to triple click, and I'm going to type in our practice flyer. So you notice now that we have different text in here, and I'm going to take that and I'm going to stretch it out. And as I stretch it out, I'm going to get these green bars, and what that is letting me know is where's the top margin, where's the left and right margin. So I'm going to leave it like that, and so now we have it centered, but I'm going to come in here and I'm going to click again because I do want to change some of the things associated with my text. So my text field, I'm going to modify it. I didn't triple click all of them, so since it's dark, I'm having trouble seeing the triple clicks. I'm just going to highlight all of them. And I'm going to change it to white. Not only am I going to change it to white, I want my text to be larger. So I'm going to come back home. And yes, there's other ways to do this, but the dog's barking has got me a little bit sidetracked. So if you hang tight, I'm going to make him go somewhere. We're going to do the drop down, and we're going to change it to 48. I don't think 48 is quite big enough, so I'm going to type in manually 60. 60 is a little too big, so let's try 55. So 55 and enter. You all, I'll be right back. I think he barks when I'm at home because I think he thinks it impresses me. So coming back to our shape format, we are going to do a text outline. I want you to be able to see it, so I'm going to do a contrasting color. I think this green right here, actually this green may be even better. I'm going to take this green color right here, and I'm going to click off for a minute, so you should be able to see that there is some green happening inside of our WordArt. But I want you to be able to see the green a little bit more, so I'm going to highlight the entire text. And I'm going to say text outline again, go to weight, and I'm going to increase the weight. I think I'm going to increase it to 3 point, and I know that doesn't look right now because it looks like it's not meant for that text, and it's not. So what I want to do now is once again select the text and go home, and in going home, I want to choose the font face that I actually want to use. And so the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to simply hover over till I find one that I feel like I like. See what Arial, no, I want to see, I'm curious what Comic Sans would look, oh, Berlin Sans too. What Comic Sans will look like in this one, so. Oh, and Cavalloni. Might stick with that one. But we're going to do Comic Sans. So let's just go ahead and select Comic Sans. Now it's a little too big, so I am going to change it to 50. Now we've got our practice flyer, and what I want you to see is it will let me pick it up higher if I need to pick it up higher. It will let me move it. It'll let me rotate it around. So what we're going to simply do is just move it up to the top, and I do want it a little bit higher. And now we're going to take and we're going to put a picture inside of our flyer. So what I'm going to do is I am going to open this up a Google Doc, and we are going to do, let's do something that I know would be very easy for you to follow along with. I'm just going to simply say cupcakes. And then I'm going to click on images. After I click on images, I'm going to come here to where it says tools. And you see where it says usage rights. We want to make sure we're using something from the Creative Commons since these pictures do not belong to us. So I'm going to click on Creative Commons. I am going to go to Tools again. And I'm going to say Type. And this time I'm going to say Clip Art. And I'm going to select an image from the clip art. And this one's really calling to me, so I'm going to go ahead and choose this one. So I'm going to click on it. I'm going to right click and I'm going to hit copy image and hope that when we go over there that it'll paste in. If it doesn't, we have a way to work around that too. So now I'm going to make sure that this is not highlighted. We know this is the active cell or the active area if it has the handles. I'm going to click off and then I'm going to paste. So I'm going to use Control V, or you could simply come in here and say paste here. Now we actually have our cupcake, but I'm going to remove this cupcake and there's a reason why. I'm going to go back and select another cupcake because there's something in here that I want you to see in case your cupcake does this or whatever you're working with. Let's choose... I'm going to choose this one here because if it doesn't do what I need it to do, we can actually work around it. So once again, I'm going to copy it. And then I'm going to go back to Word. I'm going to paste it. This is what I was hoping for. If you'll notice here, we have our cupcake, but it has a white background. I'm trying to click and hold to move it. However, it will not move, so it's cutting off into our text. What I want us to do is I want us to take and go to Picture Format. Once we go to Picture Format, I want us to go to Wrap Text and say In Front of Text. Now, if we click and hold, this image will move anywhere that we would like for it to move. So now that we've got it moved where we want it, we also want to get rid of this background. So once again, staying in Picture Format, we're going to go to Remove Background. And one of the reasons that I selected this one, which first let me show you everything that's in this purpley color, when I hit Keep Changes, is going to remove that background. But I could also come in here and I could say Remove Background, and I could say Mark Areas to Remove. And I can kind of color on this heart. Hit Keep Changes, and the heart would go away too. Now, I want to keep the heart, so I'm just going to simply say Undo. So now we have our cupcake. I'm going to take the handles on the cupcake once we click on it to make it active again. And then I'm going to press Control C, and then I'm going to press Control V. Or we could say, by going to the Home tab, copy, click off, paste. Actually, we don't even have to click off, but... So now we have 4 different versions of this. And in having 4 different versions of this, let's go here. Let's rename this to cupcakes. Let's see. Let's name it. Let's see. Sweets Cupcakes. I don't know. Let's pretend it's the name of a store. Now we can take and adjust this size if we wanted to. So right here I have one, but I want to make sure they're the exact same size. So if you come look, 96 by 96. So I could pull this one up over here, make it be 0.96 by 0.96, and it did it for me. Now I'm going to bring it down over here. I'm going to click, hold the Shift key, and if you'll notice, it'll highlight both of these. So in highlighting both of these, now what we want to do is we want to say align top, and then that way our cupcakes are aligned to the top. I'm going to come down here with this one. I'm just going to simply set it in the corner, and I'm going to kind of set this one behind it. Now, if I wanted to, I could take this one and I could use this feature under Picture Format, bring forward, or I could say send backward. I like it better in the back. Now, obviously, you would put additional information inside of your flyer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you that we're going to start putting in some of our text. Now, I could take my text and I could start typing it. The problem is in typing the text like that, I cannot move it around. Yes, I could hit enter and it would start moving things down, but that's not going to work for us. What we need is to insert a text box. We're going to just choose a simple text box, pick it up, move it where we want it. I actually clicked too fast, so we've got something we didn't need. Let me hit undo. There we go. Pick it up, move it where we want it. We're going to come in here and say, this is our store information. Now, I'm going to try something because I want to kind of fill up a little bit more of this page. I'm going to just say equal rand 3. And it won't work, so that's okay. I'm going to say this is our store information. If I could type today, we'd be doing a lot better. I'm going to simply type this is our store information. Now, of course, we're going to have more than just this for our information, but I'm going to copy it. I'm going to come in here, I'm going to paste it, pretend like it's our name, address, whatever it is we're talking about in this flyer, special sale. And let's pretend like this is our store information. Well, now, obviously, that is not going to look good for our flyer. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in here and we're going to make sure this is active. And we're going to say shape format. And in doing shape format, we're going to say shape field and we're going to say no field. Now, what happens is it looks like we don't have any text. So we're going to come back in here and highlight our text. And we're going to say text field and we're going to choose the color. And in this case, I'm going to choose white so we can see it. Notice we can stretch this out to where that way if we wanted the text to be a different size, we could make the text larger, which is what I'm going to do, even though this isn't actually what I would put in a flyer. I'm going to center it. Going back to our home tab to do this. Make our text larger. Now, one of the things that I don't like when I'm doing this is how much space it puts between text. Let's say if we were actually doing our address and we wanted it to be the order that we needed it to be in without all of this space. I would highlight everything and go to paragraph. And from there, I would change it to spacing before is 0, spacing after is 0, and line spacing is single. Now, sometimes I do want spacing, so I could do just everything in reverse to do more spacing. But notice how that decreased our spacing and made it look a little more normal. So right now we have the basic foundations of what we need in order to start creating a flyer. Now, some of the things I want to show you that'll give you some additional elements is we're going to come in here and we're going to say insert again, and we're going to do a shape. In this particular case, I'm going to do well, just for time's sake, let's just do this oval. And I'm going to click, hold, and drag. And I'm going to put it over our text. Now you notice we can't see our text, but that is okay. We're going to go ahead and start formatting it the color that we would like it to be. So I'm going to say shape field, and I think that's the green we used. Not that I want green, but I want you to be able to see the contrasting colors on the screen to know what we're doing. I'm going to say shape field as green. I'm going to say shape effects. I want it to have very soft edges. And not only do I want it to have very soft edges, I want the shape field to be even more transparent. So I'm going to come in here to more fill colors, and I'm just going to simply drag the slider up under custom. Notice I'm on custom because if you're on standard, it will not do that. So we can do custom. Now I can use standard like this and do some transparency too. So both ways work. Now, you notice it's lightened it up some, but I still want my text in front so it's nice and crisp. So I'm going to go right here where it says shape format, and I'm going to say send behind text. So now you notice that our text is actually in front of our image. Now, this is not something that I would use in a real flyer. I would use it in a real flyer, just not this way. And I'll show you some sample flyers before we're done. But what has happened is now you can see that there is an outline along our text. So like I've showed you before, highlight the one you want to work with so it has the handles letting you know that it's active. And then I want you to come to no outline. Now we have our shape. We have our text box, and we have our outline removed. Now, I know some of you are going to come and say, well, you could have just taken and right-clicked and added text inside of your shape. But if I ever want to do a layering effect, adding the text directly into my shape will not work. But yes, you can do that if you know you're not going to do a layering effect. So one more thing that I want to show you before I start showing you some sample flyers using these techniques is I'm going to do insert, shape, and I am going to use, yeah, let's do this one. I'm going to click, drag, and hold. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is kind of make it like a little bit of a border element. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to align it with the bottom of my page. But not only am I going to align it with the bottom of my page while it's active, I'm going to start rotating it. And I'm going to flip it horizontally. And in this case, I'm going to flip it like this. I'm going to go ahead and use that same shape fill color that we've been using. Like I said, not because I particularly like that color, but for the contrast. And then I'm going to come in here with another contrasting color for you to be able to see. So we're going to say insert, shapes, and this time I'm going to simply use a line. I'm going to draw that line starting right here where this shape begins and go all the way up and let go where it ends. Now, you can't see it because of the color, so we're going to change that shape outline to, let's do white since our text is white. And let's also do a weight, and I'm going to do a weight of 6. So what I want to make sure is that the black is not showing, so I'm going to line that down a little bit. And the way I line that down a little bit, let me show you. I've clicked on it. I can move it with my mouse, or I can move it with my arrow keys. So this is the right arrow. This is the down arrow. But you'll notice now that we need to correct our white line to where it's showing up. Now, I do want that line to be a little bit bigger just so you can see it. So I'm going to come back to shape outline, and I'm going to say more lines. And instead of 6, let's do 10 so you can actually see it. And then when we do 10, we notice that we need to stretch it out a little bit. Now, even if I stretch it out off the page, which is what we need to do, we don't see it off the page. So if you notice now, we've got like a little decorative element here that we could turn around and we could say, add text, or we could do another text box and say, grand opening. And we can make this larger by changing the font. Let's do display font. Let's do a 36. And this is what I was telling you about the line. And see, now I can't move my text and my G's being cut off because it's going to put it in the center when you do it as an add text in a text box. For right now, we're going to simply leave it. Just make the text be smaller. And understand that that's why I like to use text boxes over adding text in many cases. So I'm going to pull up some samples and show you some samples of different items that I've created so you can see all the full benefits of these. So this is showing you one that was created for social media, and it was simply posted on Facebook as an advertisement. Here's a second version. I'm going to pull it over on the screen for you to see. Once again, introducing Easy Pay Finance. Here is another one. If you give me a second, I'll pull it over on the screen. And this is one that's a little bit larger. Pictures put throughout. So there is a lot of potential when using Microsoft Word when it comes to creating a document. And I'm going to show you one more that was used to create business cards. And I'll explain to you how some of this came about. Let me get it pulled over onto the screen for us. Okay, come on. Oops, I see it, but there we go. All right, so this is a business card. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see better on your screen. This is definitely layered text. So it's a text format. I think it's like Fort is the formatting, and it's got red, and then it's got another one layered on top of it. Same thing here. It's layered text. This is simply click art. This is a shape that is layered on top of another shape. What's making the tire tracks is individually drawn shapes that were then copied and pasted. You got your text boxes in here. And then to make the white down at the bottom so you can read the different text is simply using a shape, and that shape has soft edges with the text inside. And that was also done in Word. Now, I know you realize that you can do this probably easier in many cases in Publisher, and a lot of you like to use Canva. So if you'd like to show me, or excuse me, not show me, but if you'd like for me to show you projects done in Canva or projects done in Publisher to help you create something, put a note down in the comments and I will do that project for you. Thanks, and till the next time.